Five, four, three, two, one.
Well, I don't know what went wrong there. It wouldn't go.
Hey ho. Evening, Zeb. Hello. Yes. Another one, another
It
two.
wouldn't go. I hit the button and it wouldn't do anything.
Hello, Pulsar. Yes. No, sorry. We were just doing calculations for a birthday next week. It depends on his weight. If he's under 20 pounds, he's 76. If he's over 20 pounds, he's 83.
Yes, someone's got a birthday next week.
Yes.
That thing you can hear chomping on his.
What's he got tonight? That sounds hard.
Yes, it's a chicken leg or chicken foot. He loves them. Anyway, I hope everyone's well. And if you're in the UK, it's sticky as hell here.
It was earlier today. It's not now over here. Nah.
Yeah, it's really sticky and sweaty and horrible. And yes, my chair's squeaking again because it's drying out again. I have got to put some more WD-40 on it.
Hey ho. Oh well.
Yeah, things, it's drying up. Anyway.
The humidity won't help as well.
I shall have a play with it over the weekend, I think. To sort it out. Grease it up a bit. Anyway, what's been going on the channel? Lots. I've been upsetting Beatle fans.
Easy thing to do.
Yeah, because I didn't agree with him.
The thing is, half of them aren't British anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, this week on the channel, we've had 11,816 views.
Oh, crikey.
And 15 new subscribers. So thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. So what have you guys been watching? Well, at number 3 with 130 views was last week's top 10, a trip down memory lane for the 7th of August 1978. Number 2 is the Iron Maiden, 1 from 1,750. Top viewed one last week was, which I thought it would be, the new album from Alice Cooper, The Revenge of Alice Cooper.
Oops.
That's my mobile. It's still sitting here. I will get rid of it when he goes, because he'll go for a wee. Yes, 158 people. Top short, Aerosmith, Rockin' a Hard Place. Surprised, because it's the one that Joe Perry's not on, but 1,176 people said, yeah, we like that. Now, in the last 28 days, we have had 40,291 views and 78 new subscribers. So thank you very much. The top 3, well, coming straight in at number 3 with 150 views is 1 from 17 from Iron Maiden. Second top this month, still Bandmade. 715. Number 1 though, it's gone through the 1,000 views mark, and that's on that mighty other band from Japan, Love Bites. Fantastic. I'm so chuffed. I thought we'd get, if we got 50, we'd do well.
Mm.
Yeah, we've got 1,018. Top short still, Queen's Day of the Races. 1,245. Now the big numbers. Since we started, we have now had 879,633 views. And we have now got, in the happy family, 3,020 subscribers.
Welcome.
Welcome. And thank you for staying around. Those have been here forever. So, here we go. Number 5 on 4,602, Derek Riggs. 104 more views is Mike Oldfield on 4,706. Thank you, sponsor. But Mike is catching Ian Anderson and boys who are on 4,897.
Yep.
And I think there'll be a few more people watching Mike Oldfield this week. Number 2, as ever, Slade 5662. And of course, status quo is now at 11,653. Yeah, not so many people like that. Someone wanted to put them all at the bottom, Nick.
Yes. Prize
Pillock. If you don't like him, don't have to comment. Top short. Paul Diano still 4,549. So what have I been listening to? Well, I've been listening to Quiet Riot, and I've got 7 of 14. A bit of Rage, German band, who've got a new album coming out at the end of the month of September. Steamhammer, 3 of the 5. Nucleus, 3 of the 13. Saga, 4 of the 23. Still got lots of them to do. Bloodwind Pig, 3 of the 4. And a new one's been thrown in, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I think was Simon asked for that.
Yep.
So 2 of the 13. And I've completed New Model Army and the Soft Machine Legacy. Yes, the pig.
Yes.
The pig. Yes. Had them blasting out today with the windows open.
But not so loud that you could hear them across the road.
No, someone's been playing dance music across the road all day. So I did have to turn up the pig just to drown them out. And just say, look, this is music.
Yeah.
Wobbly, yeah. And Father Robin, yes. Wobbler are on the list somewhere. That's all I can say. Anyway, someone hasn't moved yet, but they're looking. So
yeah, and guess who asked for Wobbler?
It was Zeb.
Yes.
Yes. So I shall now go and sort out his nibs, and it's time for Hatch's dispatches.
Well, you know you don't have much time, so off you toddle. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the House of Madness and Fun. Hatches, matches, and dispatches. We've 2 + 2 dispatches, 14 hatches, and 1 match this week. So, those who have departed. On the 10th, Graham Fenton, British singer with the band Matchbox. Now, for copyright reasons, in Australia, they were known as Major Matchbox because there was another band called Matchbox. Anyway, also on the 10th, Bobby Whitlock. He was an American rock singer, songwriter, and keyboardist. He used to be in Derek and the Dominoes, and he played with Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, an album that was mentioned last week by Michael on the live stream. Others not musical, but sort of important people. On the 9th, Raymond Michael Brooks, Ray Brooks, as we knew him, English TV and film actor. Now, why do we mention him? He was the voice of Mr. Ben. Ye olde cartoon sadly has left us. And on the 10th, Biddy Baxter, or to give her a proper name, Joan Maureen Baxter, MBE. She was a TV producer and she was best known for editing Blue Peter from 1965 to 1988. 23 years doing just Blue Peter. I mean, she was the one who set the format, which is still used to this day. Anyway, that's our 2 plus 2. Birthdays, the Hatches. Well, we're going to start at 41 and we're going to end at 85. So 41 today is Nicholas Peter Andrew Grimshaw. Nick Grimshaw, nicknamed Grimmy, he's an English broadcaster and author. We know him for being on Radio 1. 51 today, we have Martin Bullock, Scottish musician. He's drummer in the rock band Mogwai. Also 51 is Anna Kirby. You go, who? Anna Kirby, known by her stage name Anna Matronic. American singer, best known as the co-lead singer for Scissor Sisters. 55 today is Kevin Rene Cadogan, American musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, guitarist, and founding member of the band Third Eye Blind. And I have to admit, never heard of him. 59 today is David Halliday, and that's Halllyday. He was born David Michael Benjamin Smet. He's a French singer, songwriter, actor. He's also an amateur sports car racer. But why do we know him? He's the son of the French singer Johnny Halliday. 64 today is Susan Marie Olsen. She is an American actress and former radio personality. Why do we know her? Because she was in the Brady Bunch. She was Cindy Brady, the youngest Brady child. And she was in the series for the full run from 69 to 74. 65 today is Sarah Brightman. Yes.
I lost my heart to a Starship Trooper.
Yes. That English classical crossover soprano singer actress who started life in hot gossip, released several disco singles as a solo performer, and then in 1981 she made her West End musical theatre debut in Cats. She went on to star in Phantom of the Opera and several other West End and Broadway musicals. Married him, the man of many musical shows. Sir to a lot of people. Anyway, 69 today is Sharon Bryant. She's an American R&B singer. She was the lead singer of the R&B group Atlantic Star. 77 today is Bruce Thomas, bass guitarist. Best known as he was the bassist for The Attractions. We mentioned them last week. 78 today, and we all bow down, bend a knee, kowtow, whatever, to Madeline Edith Pryor, MBE. Maddie Pryor to the rest of us. English folk rock singer, lead vocalist of Steel Eye Span, and various other groups. 70. Who is that?
Someone shouting outside.
Yeah, mate, we could hear. All right. 79 today. Larry Graham Jr., American bassist and baritone singer. He was in Sly and the Family Stone, and he was also a founder and frontman of Graham Central Station. 81 today is Terry Ellis, English record producer and manager. He worked with the early Jethro Tull, and he was also a co-founder of Chrysalis Records until he was bought out by his co-partner, and his co-partner then sold Chrysalis. Made an absolute bloody fortune out of it. Anyway, 82 today is Ben Hirsch Sidran, American jazz and rock keyboardist, producer, label owner, music writer. And early in his career, he was a member of the Steve Miller Band. And then granddad today is 85 years young Darrell George Crofts, better known as Dash Crofts, American musician, one half of the soft rock duo Seals and Croft with Jim Seals. So there's our birthdays done. The matches, like I said, we've only got one today. Back in 2010, American actress and singer, yes, she did. She released records. Hilary Duff. She married a retired Canadian professional ice hockey player, Mike. Gotta check my spelling. Comrie. 4 years later, they separated, and then 2 years after that, they got divorced. Nobody seems to stay married these days. Anyway, that's our hatches, matches, dispatches. Last week, sophomore was Porcupine Tree versus Arena. And Iain, being the gentleman that he is, decided that you guys needed to have a win. So he picked Arena. Well, you repaid his kindness. The live vote was 11-0. The community post was 12-3 for a resounding 23-5 victory in favour of Porcupine Tree.
Yeah, but I'm winning this week.
Wow. Overall, it's 11-5 in your favour, Iain. The last time I looked, Vangelis versus Mike Oldfield, it was 1-5 in favour of Mike Oldfield.
Yeah.
So, that's sophomore drum. Tonight's talking point, tracks that bring back memories that define the 80s for each of us. And we'll be, as usual, we'll also try and set the world to rights. So, let's see who has arrived in.
The usual suspects they're all gathering now. So,
Porch Pineapple. That's down to Rocky as to whether or not it's a cat-friendly zone, and it's probably not.
I don't know. There's a cat round here that he doesn't even chase now. Just looks up and walks past it. I think his cat chasing days are over.
I'm not. Yes. Come on. How do you get you'd need a double Zimmer frame for him.
Yeah,
anyway,
he doesn't run very far these days.
Yes, Nick. Chrysalis did do the distribution for Two Tone until they got sold on. Hiya, Mike. Welcome in. And Simon.
Seb, it's the original. I don't do plastic pieces.
No. It's
the
original. Yes.
So,
and I've deliberately listened to Earth again today, and there are hints of what was to come.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Mike Oldfield was polished. By far and away, it was superior. I mean, why did you knock off 1 point?
Because you can't see her, just ridge.
Nitpicking. I thought it was rather good.
I like the cover. I do love the cover, but you want to see other covers have got just a bit.
Earth needs a reissue.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think Seb, you're right. It does need a reissue.
Yes, and ideally not a. Don't fiddle with it. Don't remix it. Don't remaster it.
Just reissue
it. Yeah.
Anyway, shall we find out what's on next week?
Exactly. So, there you go.
Right, we've finished with Elvis Costello, and a lot of people have enjoyed it. Who's our next artist? Well, it was a viewer's request. It was asked by Charles, and we're doing Prince.
That's a catalogue and a half.
Yes, it is. And we're going to start off where it all began for him, back in the 1970s. Perfect side. A bit of Slade. I've got to choose my favourite side on Slade.
Slade by Slade.
Slade by Slade. And we got a birthday. We got Wyoming Dave, and we're going to look at his 5th birthday top 10 on August the 18th, 1974. There's some good tunes in there, and there's some really bad ones as well.
Yeah, true.
Yes. Tuesday, we're going to do a little bit of Suede. Now, they've got a new album coming out in September. I think it's called... Can I remember what it's called? Not can't. Aphrodisiacs? Something like that.
Let's go.
But I'm going to be ranking the rest of their albums on Tuesday. Antidepressants, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And retro ranking.
They're ahead of me.
Yes. Retro ranking, one of my favourite bands from the 70s. And there we have the wonderful 10cc Eric with Lol and Graham and Kevin. Masterminds of lyrics. Wednesday, busy old day. Got Luke. Now Luke normally would get his first because it's his first one, but unfortunately there is someone else that gets their birthday in the same week, and it's their 5th, and there's a special reason for it. It's not just because it's my brother the following week. There's something special about that 5th birthday. And then we're doing Australian's finest, one of his finest singers, Jimmy Barnes. So we'll be looking at the album ranking of Jimmy Barnes, and what a cool singer he is. From Cold Chisel, of course, but he did strike out and make a few albums on his own. Then we come to Thursday, another busy day. We got a birthday, and that's Hugh Scott's mum. We're doing her 5th birthday from 1959, and next week's Sophomore Dome is a bit of a 80s vibe to it. And we've got Luxury Gap from Heaven 17 and Beauty Stab from ABC.
It'll be interesting given tonight's topic.
Yes. And then we're going for a wander down the sidewalk. And we're going to look at the US Top 10 on August the 21st, 1961.
And then, in theory, there should be another birthday.
Yes.
And it should either be the 21st of August, 2010.
Yes.
Or 3, 2, 2, 8, 9 to 1930.
Yeah.
I'm doing maths in my head. 1932.
Yes. So that's the Thursday. So what are we doing Friday? Well, we've got one of the best underrated neo-prog bands from the UK. IQ, brilliant band. And the new album, it comes out tomorrow. Love Is Like by Maroon 5. Out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So that's
Iain,
what...
See what you think of it.
Well, I've had a couple of tracks. It's not too bad. But we've got to listen to the whole album next week. So that's what's on next week, folks.
Hey, well done. Bump. Take bonk. There we go. See, I can do it easy.
Yeah, so let's remove that from the studio.
There we go.
Yes, I've had someone question my being a fan of Peter Hamill this week.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, because he didn't like what I had at number 1. It's my favourite album.
It's your favourite. It might not be his favourite. It doesn't mean that he's right and you're wrong, nor does it mean that you are right and he is wrong. Everybody hears the same piece of music differently.
They do. And that's what really, Peter Hamill, if you like Van de Graaff Generator, you're going to like Peter Hamill, and it's simple as.
Yeah.
Well, to accuse me of not knowing enough about Peter Hamill. I only did a whole story on Peter Hamill. And a lot of that, ladies and gentlemen, was not much research. It's all up here. Because yours truly has been listening to Peter Hamill for many, many a year. So, yeah. So, you can take me on, but you'll never beat me.
No, say nothing. Say nothing.
Yes. Good evening, Terry. Hope you're well. Well, there's something I do forget to do every week because I get totally carried away.
Yes. Did that.
It's up there if you want to find it.
Did that. Here we go. This thing's going to go. Get off. Adverts. 13 votes.
Yeah, so was Zeb, but you didn't call mine into question. It was just, see, Zeb knows that we all do things differently. So
he might be disappointed, but he understands.
Yes, but it didn't stop him watching the rest of the video.
No. Let's see.
Actually, I just don't connect with them two albums. But that's how the cookie crumbles.
So that's
said the actress to the bishop. Precisely.
Okay. Need to scroll that.
And the one thing is, I notice these people that always leave the catty comments are ones that have got no subscribers and no content. Yes, indeed.
5 at the moment.
Purchased at age 5. Yes. Saturday night, my good friend Nick and I will be at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
And we're off to see the Soap Girls, which we're looking forward to.
Don't forget to take your drooling towel. Wipe it up.
Yes, so looking forward to that. Rocky had his claws done yesterday.
I knew there was something missing. There was no granny clip clop as he was following you out the door.
No, he's had it. Yes, his groomer Hannah come and saw him. He's getting to know her now. He's sort of you say she's here and he's at the door. And you open the door and he sees the van and he wags his tail and out he trots. The funny thing is when he's finished, he's still got that little, that Dave will know that little strut he has. Show off. He still does that. A bit slower, but he.
Yeah. Cock of the walk.
Yes, because Dave was actually over once when he come back from the groomers. And he came in, both of them came in, because Marley had been, they both came in swanking it a bit. Mark Hamill, may the force be with you. Here's a bit of thing. Do you know this year on Christmas Day? It'd be the 25th of the 25th. Was it the 25? The 25th on the 25th in the year 25.
25, 12, 25, yes. Yeah. Or as the Americans do it, 12, 25, 25.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're probably right. They didn't answer. Bunch of morons.
Oh, what's this? What? Yes. Yeah. No, they never do. They never do. Let's see. So you do the regular future now and lose some real.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's what it's all about. You go back. I mean, I do. I have listened to Future now and Loops and Real.
Yeah, you see.
But I go, no, I still don't like him. But one day, if I say I actually like them, I will let you know, Seb. So don't worry. I mean, some of the albums that I've ranked a long time ago, my mind's changed over the years. I go, yeah, that is not a bad album.
Well, we're actually going to have a look at that in a form of. You'll be doing somebody's catalogue, and you've already done a catalogue with a band that they've been involved with. So it's going to be interesting to see if you still rank those albums in the same order or whether you've changed. We'll be taking on Simon's Tread on Psychedelic Saturday this weekend.
Ooh. All of a sudden, the sun's gone in.
Ah, well, it is 8:30.
Yes. The sun's gone.
You might be getting a bit of cloud.
Yes, I'm just
You might want to check and see if there's black cloud on the horizon.
Oh, there's a little tiny black cloud, and I mean it's slither thin. And that's your black cloud.
Yeah. Which way is it going? East, west, north, south?
It's static at the moment. It's going nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the light on because it's getting a bit.
Ah, there we go. Simon's Thread on Psychedelic Sunday.
Oh, it's Fred. Yeah. Yes, that's a good thread. Yeah, I watched Richard to the Tap Houses today, and he showed some really good albums, The Tubes, and some Bruce Springsteen. Can't remember the other one. See, I went totally, as I said last time, I went totally off kilter and did stuff that I normally don't show. And I think that's what
is this the 4 from 4?
Yeah.
That sounded like a good thread.
Yeah, Simon came up with an absolute cracker there. It's a bit different, isn't it? You know, it makes you think. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. I was gonna get on my
if it's an Android, swipe down from the top and look for Do Not Disturb.
Yay! There we go.
Just remember to turn it off later. Because I forgot to turn off She Who Must Not Be Named last week until Monday afternoon.
Oh God. Yeah, it's had a bit. It's right. I mean, I was talking with Simon about this earlier. He said, the thing was, I knew Simon was going to do it, and Simon told me when he was going to put it up, and mine was literally ready to go afterwards, just to get one up to get the ball rolling. And are you going to? Good evening, Mike.
Hiya.
Yes, so it's Maddie's birthday today.
Yeah, I heard Dave say, yeah.
Yeah, I hope she's having a cider somewhere.
Probably.
With Wurzels, she be a cider drinker.
Yeah, apparently she's a bit partial to a bit of cider.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there's a bit of controversy about your Peter Hamill then.
Yes. Because he didn't like what I put at number 1. Which
What
meant
did you put at number 1?
I can't remember now, Mike.
Yeah.
But he said, I don't know what I'm talking about, you know.
Yeah, well, you've just got a difference of opinion, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've only been.
I like his early stuff. You know, and there's that first Van de Graaff Generator album, which is really a solo album by him, isn't it? With the
aerosol can on it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah. The silent corner and the empty stage. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a lovely. If you want to go and see what I put, go and look at the comments on my Peter Hammer. It was some beautiful literature that even Dave was proud of. It was out. It was right out of the civil service book of putting out.
Right, I'll have a look in a bit, then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think, and there's not been a response, of course.
Just
and then today on another person saying I upset a Beatles fan, big time.
Oh.
Well,
you'd put Fools at number 1.
Fools, yeah, which is a great.
Oh, that's not a bad choice, is it?
No.
Yes, it's your favourite one, Nick. It is Prague we're talking of. Anyway, there was a he's doing this guy's doing a competition, and he put we're getting to the stage where there's going to be some interesting combinations. And the one that was up today was Machine Head against Sergeant Pepper's. And I voted for Machine Head, of course. But in a deep And someone said, and this is what he put basically, if it wasn't for Sergeant Pepper's, there wouldn't have been a Machine Head. So I sort of questioned him on that. And then he went, if it weren't for Sergeant Pepper's, there'd be none of this stuff for all the genres. And so I says, okay, what about the Rolling Stones, The Who, Pink Floyd? The list goes on. But then
it's just a circular argument. You can say that about any band, really.
Yeah.
And who's to say what might have been? It's like that. There's that really lame film, isn't there? Dreadful film where the Beatles didn't exist.
Oh, that's come out recently, hasn't it?
It was a few years back.
Well, there's been one that I think it came out. Was it this year? Or was it last year?
No. I think
where this guy time travels into the future or to another dimension. The Beatles never existed, and he knows all the tunes, all the lyrics, and puts them out as being his own music. And
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it's like I think he wakes up one morning and all of a sudden no one's heard of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then that's at the end, obviously. Yeah,
he has to own up that the Beatles do exist.
Yeah,
it's not my own stuff, and I thought,
but
the Who just announced.
People always say this about the Beatles, and the Beatles were really, really influential, weren't they? And you can't deny that. They were the biggest bands in the world when they were. For that period, about 6 or 7 years.
Yes.
And you can't deny that. But then to sort of project sort of everything else that's happened in music since on, on the Beatles, on, primarily on Lennon and McCartney, is absolute garbage.
Yeah, I mean, this is the other side.
One of the arguments against this there wouldn't have been this if it hadn't been the Beatles. And for want of sort of like upsetting people again, gratuitously, I must say. I mean, if everything stemmed from the Beatles, how come Paul McCartney never did anything decent after the Beatles finished? He was in pole position, to dominate. The music industry to be the most creative person, going forward. And was he? No, he bloody wasn't.
No. The thing is, while they were making Sergeant Pepper's, Caravan were doing their thing. Soft Machine were doing their thing. Pink Floyd were doing their thing. I mean, even Status Quo with their Flower Power stuff, they were doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was lots of people doing stuff. The Beatles. Someone I was in a pub at the weekend, and someone said the Beatles. There was a conversation about the Beatles then, and there was on about that they were a rock band. And someone he said I told they were a pop band. They were a pop band that dabbled into other genres. They dabbled in psychedelia. They dabbled in rock, but they were initially a pop band. But they were pretty good at dabbling in other areas. But oh god, no. Anyway, Seb's actually found the comment this guy put up, Mike, so I'll put it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah. Oh dear.
It's just
Yeah. So you just don't get him at all because you don't agree.
it doesn't matter that I did a story on Peter Hamill. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But you know,
And like I said, a lot of it came from what's up here because I like him.
the point is, you know, sort of like with a lot of, you know, vinyl community videos, that, you know, they can become a sort of, you know, a basis for discussion, can't they? You know, and you know, people talk about albums, you know, and people leave comments, you know, things like, well, if you like this, how about, you know, trying this, etc., or, you know, or I think, you know, I think this album by them is better. Hi, Andy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
There you go. Seb's right. Fool's Mate is one of the most owned Hamill albums of the 70s, in my opinion. All 70s Hamill's essentials. He's, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good album, isn't it?
And his current reply is Fool's Mate is an excellent album and any true Van de Graaff Generator fan should own. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. I think it's a great album, but you know, I like Van de Graaff Generator. My lad just doesn't get them at all. You know, he just doesn't understand Van de Graaff Generator, and I appreciate it.
I didn't initially. They're an acquired taste, but once you acquire the taste, then you start to understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're being controversial tonight, aren't we?
Anyway.
Hang on. In that case, did the Frogs chorus never exist?
Well,
if he died in 1967, the Frogs chorus doesn't exist.
Well, there you go. Every clouder.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So and anyway, I've been meaning to get to the post office, Ian, but I've not been well the last few days.
You sound a bit bunged up, mate.
Yeah, I feel fine now, but I had one of those colds, you know, where it really goes to your head and you feel a bit sick as well, you know. So I went to the Brood Mill Saturday night, saw the Corettes, and they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant.
I saw your picture you put up on.
Yeah, and then you know, then me and my lad we went into the bar at the Broodnell and we stayed there till well after midnight. And then sort of like Sunday afternoon, I just started feeling really not well at all. And it's, you know, it was only when I got up this morning that I thought, oh, I'm getting over it now, but my throat's a bit dry. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, half a bottle of whiskey might do it. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a fantastic gig, and there was a really, really brilliant sort of garage punk band called Los Pepes, and they're really sort of like, you know, Spirit of 77, these guys. And I mean, if you don't know, Los Pepes is the name of a vigilante group who were they were enemies of Pablo Escobar in Colombia. Yeah, but that wasn't those guys though. They were, I think they were from Nottingham. But they were really good though. They were really good punk, and the front man was just went for it, you know. Yeah. So it's a really, really good. Yeah. Flavia certainly does know how to entertain the crowd. Yeah, she did a bit of crowd surfing. Yeah, so I've got to touch the lady, you know. Yeah.
So even Pulsar loves the caress. There you go. Just as much as Nick and I love the Soap Girls. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great night out. It was really, really good. Surprisingly, it wasn't sold out though. I don't know if it's time of year, you know, people on holiday or whatever, but I was really surprised that it wasn't sold out.
That's a shame, isn't it? But I'm sure everyone that was there had a great time.
We did, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And is it a small venue, is it, where you went?
Yeah, the Brood now, yeah. Probably. I find it hard to estimate crowds, but probably a couple of hundred at the most in the main room. So there's two rooms there, and in the main one, yeah, it's probably about 200 people. But I bet you are, Nick. I bet, yeah. Is that before or after they get their kit off, or should I ask?
Yeah, I think it's in the very where we're seeing the Soap Girls. It's a very compact, atmospheric, good for a good punk band.
I love small venues. I really do. You know.
We'll do a correct ranking.
Yeah, there's not that many at the moment, though, are there? So
no, but we can we do smaller thing.
Yeah.
Talking of Ladies' Day, I've started listening to someone you have asked for.
Oh yeah,
a certain Kate LeBon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I've listened to two of her albums. I've heard one or two of her bits, but I've never seriously sat down and listened to her albums. And I've listened to her first two albums, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, I've got a test pressing of Pompeii.
Have you? Wow.
Yeah, signed by her. Yeah. So yeah, she's really good. She's got a new album out next month, I think.
Yes, I did notice that. Hopefully, that by the time we do it, we can do it. So, yeah, I'm doing a Soup Girl ranking.
Whatever that means. Yeah. But I've also found some time to listen to some rock the music singers this week.
Yes, I put them on a playlist. I just put them in a playlist on Spotify and had them on the other afternoon while I was partering about. Yeah, I think I know where I'm going.
Yeah, me too. I've got a good idea. You know what? One or two of the later ones, I couldn't really recall them. Do you know what I mean?
There are one or two that the name didn't ring. Well, you know, look at a list of singles. Go,
quite a few. Yeah, quite a few didn't chart, did they?
No, and I think the biggest one will be the one that never charted in this country.
Yeah,
the biggest songs.
It's up there as far as I'm concerned, but we won't give the game away. Eh?
That's it. It's
yeah.
Yeah. Can you rank Donald Trump speeches? I could go to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I am ranking Jimmy Barnes next week.
Yes, I heard you say, yeah, at last.
Yeah, long time wait. It's been in the list. And it's sort of gradually gone up the list. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been re-listening to a certain folk band as well. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm doing it because I'm doing a little bit of a thing on a certain member of a band that did other stuff as well. So I had to take the albums he did with this band and redefine them in a ranking, which has been hard because I've got to pick it. But I think I've done it. And it's not the same ranking as I did with the band.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I'll just say he did marry a lady called Linda. So you know who I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, he's been involved in so many bands over the years. So many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Dead Kennedys, I don't think they are on the list, you know.
Anyway, I'm just adding other stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, the 1980s.
It is.
What a... It's got to be one of the biggest decades of so much diverse music.
Yeah. I was, I was going to point that out, that there's all sorts of music that, genres that I hadn't really listened to, music from all over the world that suddenly, it's available, wasn't it, in the 1980s. And also just sort of like moving from, 1980, you've got, maybe, well, for me, it was, punk, post-punk. And then, as you move on through, again, for me, there was more and more of the sort of, what you call world music, a lot of African stuff. And so
for me, it was there's certain band, there's one or two bands were started in late '79, but they really came to more prominence in the beginning of the '80s. When the new wave of British heavy metal, that was my thing. There were so many bands. I mean, Iron Maiden. They like a lot of punks like them first two Iron Maiden albums because of that energy and that rebellious sound they had. Songs like Charlotte the Harlot, Proud. It's got lots of and Paul Di'Anno had that punk look, didn't he? The black spiky hair, the leather jacket, and
but I would imagine for you that the early 80s would be the time that you were really starting to get into music.
Yeah, it was, and it was sort of defining what I was going to do, what way I was going to go. But, I was heavy metal all the way, but then you hear Toya, Susie, and you go, hold on a minute, these are good as well. And then you hear Ultravox.
Yes, that's the crime. That's the crime, not just of the decade, the century, of all time, that Vienna was kept off number one by a bloody joke.
Yeah, but I mean, the singles charts are never a good indication of what's good.
I mean, you look at 1981. We had Stars on 45. We had classics. We, and all that same.
Yeah.
But the 80s was weird in a way because it changed so fast. I mean, 81, I had my first overseas posting. I got sent to Ankara, and that was Ultravox and Vienna. That was my memory of 81 musically. 82, I got cross posted down to Abu Dhabi. I arrived there, and there's a new single out. It was Kraftwerk, the model, and that blew my mind away.
Yeah.
And then home, and then back out. I got posted out to Tel Aviv for a short tour, and then on to Islamabad. And Frankie Goes to Hollywood came out. Two Tribes and the Power of Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in 87, I got married, and Benny King, or Ben E. King, was the hit, and it was Stand By Me. And as far as I'm concerned, after that, music went to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, Frankie Goes to Hollywood were, you know, if nothing else, they sort of really shook up the BBC, didn't they? With
God, yes. I mean, Relax.
You know, I mean, Mike Reid who got that to number one?
Yeah.
Well, or was it Simon Bates? It was Mike Reid, wasn't it?
Mike Reid, yeah. He got it banned, and what did we all do? Go and buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then MTV, it was being shown, you know, sort of on the hour every hour.
Yeah. But they made two videos for Relax, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that went with the mood of the music, and the other one that was kind of like a more of a sort of disco scene, wasn't it?
Yes. The risque one.
Then you got Visage, Fade to Grey, which is another great new wave song.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit ambivalent about sort of a lot of this stuff, and I can remember that some of it, you know, I was in Leeds. I've been in Leeds for about from the start of the 80s, and you know, some of the, you know, the clubs and the venues started getting sort of like really shitty about everything, you know, and the only thing that really mattered is that you dressed in the right way. You know, like, oh, you can't come in unless you're dressed in black, you know, or you know, some sort of like bizarre sort of.
There was a dress code appropriate.
Yeah, it was, but it was just bizarre. It was just really bizarre, and you know, and there was a pub on Leeds, right on the edge of Leeds University campus called the Faversham. And they've got a space upstairs, you know, where they do performances and whatever. And I used to go in there, and it was a fine sort of pub. But then, you know, all of a sudden it became sort of really a poser's paradise. And the guy that was running the pub, he had a bloody lizard, this bloody big lizard that would be on the bar, and he's got had a snake as well, you know, and there are all the posers going in there, and you had to call it the fav. And went on, oh, we're going down the fav, dear. And it became dreadful, and the music there was just sort of like, you know, it was pretty boys and girls, basically, you know, with very little talent, and you know, it was kind of like this, you know, the early 80s. There was very much a sort of a, you know, style won over content, really. So it didn't matter what you sounded like as long as you looked the part. Yeah. Coach Club. Yeah. But you know, I mean, being openly gay, in the 80s was, you know, was quite a dangerous thing to do, wasn't it? You know, it was quite groundbreaking. Yeah. Yeah, Culture Club, Boy George, yeah.
Yeah. See, I was quite, I did like Adam and the Ants, you know, as well. You know, they came and blew everyone away as well. There was so many. Then you got the New Romantics, of course, the Spandau Ballets and the Duran Durans. But there was one band I did like, and that was Japan, because they were normal to me. They were almost like a symphonic prog band with their sound.
Yeah, there was more about the music. There you go. I was going to mention Tin Drum. I think this is an excellent album. And what was it? 1981, is it? Yeah, 1981.
It is. It's a fine album.
And again, the sounds on there are just sort of, you know, they're different. You know, it was quite revolutionary. It wasn't, you know, this isn't synth pop. You know, it's more than that.
Yeah, they took new wave into another sort of dimension, didn't they? Because from that came neo prog, didn't it? It sort of evolved as well, like Marillion and IQ. They sort of Japan were more synth. They were the synth, but they had got prog overtake in their music.
Well, it's very sort of crossover, isn't it? You know, and that's the case with a lot of music. You know, you can't necessarily pigeonhole music. You know, you were talking about Iron Maiden being the sort of music that punk would listen to in the 80s. You know, and you know, Motorhead as well. You know, Motorhead were punks as far as their attitude was concerned.
Yeah, they were really good, especially them early.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's right, Jeff. Yeah.
Iain, question for you.
Yes.
Zeb. Is the Fresh Era Marillion box sets worth getting? He owns them from before and assorted live albums.
Well, I'm not bothering because I've got everything Fish did, so I might get it at some stage. It's like the Marillion ones; they're not on my top of my list, but I'm sure they'll be worth getting.
Is this a lottery wish list?
Well, the thing is, they're there, and I'll get them when thing. It's like I collect the Marillion ones, but I haven't got them when they come out.
There he is. Evening, Nick.
Good evening.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear me okay. I think I'm having internet problems.
No, you're okay.
See and hear you fine.
Are you coming at a good point? So I was just going to mention Gary Newman, how he changed the music.
Yes. Well, I thought you were going to say if it wasn't for the Beatles, there wouldn't have been any 1980s.
Yeah, we would have just all disappeared by proper own fundaments, and that would have been that.
That would have been that. I mean, John Lennon did have his comeback, although he was, he was killed.
Yeah.
Would that album been successful if he hadn't been killed? Okay, so
it wasn't, but I mean, John Lennon wasn't, cutting edge, was he? At that point, John Lennon was just, it's that guy who's doing the Beatles, and they'd had their day, and that's it.
Bit of Hazel O'Connor, yeah, she was really different. I mean, although Lena Lovitch started in the late what Lucky Number was, what, 79. She made lots of good music in the early 80s as well, along with our good friend Toya.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But then you got to 1983, and then the record companies decided that everyone had to make smooth point, this great sound and lots of overdubs and overproduced, and turned some great rock bands into garbage, basically.
Yeah. It's that, it's that bugbear about 80s production.
Oh, 80s production. I mean, look what it did to Yes. Hello, you've come up twice, Nick. What's going on? Well, that's better. That's strange. Yeah. Lots of bands, all of a sudden, you've got to make what I call the MTV fodder music.
Yeah.
And even heavy metal, new wave of heavy metal became this glammy hair. I mean, hair metal doesn't exist. It's just glam metal. All of a sudden, you got Motley Crue and with hair out here and nah.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was it. I mean, MTV was pretty powerful stuff. Or maybe toxic is the word. But certain bands kind of embraced that, didn't they? This was a way to. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by Nick at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you going to eat a Cadbury's flake in a minute, like in the adverts?
in which case, where's the banana?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, MTV. I mean, bands. Some bands kind of really embraced that, didn't they? And and obviously with the blessing of their record companies and probably the collusion of their record companies, they made videos and music that was MTV friendly, and I suppose you can't really blame them for that. But not really my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some bands that really, even Renaissance did an 80s sounding album, and it's bloody awful.
Well, yeah, I mean, also all sorts of artists, they just sort of fell into that trap, didn't they? Because that's what was happening. But yeah, it's kind of mid-80s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, in 1983, ZZ Top had their groundbreaking album in the UK, Eliminator. Great Boogie Texas. Up comes the next album, Afterburner, and it's got synthy drums on it. And what are you doing? But everyone, every person, oh, this is MTV stuff. Yeah, great. No, it wasn't great. Even Journey succumbed to that horrible production.
Yeah.
Jethro Tull, I mean, that Under Wraps, what were they thinking?
Well, I mean, this is it. Yeah. Oh, God. But, there was that whole thing, wasn't there, in the UK, with Youth TV, or rather Youth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
YWF. Youth TV, and it was that woman with all the teeth, wasn't it? Janet Street Porter was producing this stuff, and she got various young posers to sort of present sort of programs. I think the worst of them was this woman who called herself Magenta Divine. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Bloody hell. And I think they killed music.
That was some good stuff. I mean, when I started going down the King Billy in Northampton, in the mid-80s, the jukebox was still full of good stuff and a lot of goth music. Sisters of Mercy was on there a lot. New Model Army, the Cult, of course, and the Cure. They were all. I mean, they came into their own in the 80s, didn't they? The Cure.
Well, 17 seconds. What was that? 1980. So
yeah,
you know, the majority of Cure's best stuff is done in the 80s.
Yeah.
But you know, they weren't the mainstream, were they? You know,
there was no good mainstream, was it? It was all the indie sort of stuff and the metal bands. You know, they were minorities all of a sudden, and it's people like us that kept that music going because. But when you go to concerts, you go to the Monsters of Rock at Donington, the old one. Packed out all the time. A big, AC/DC were filling stadiums. I mean, even Queen in '82, even though they had that dreadful hot space, filling the Milton Keynes Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then thrash metal came in and sort of ruined it a bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mike mentioned Janet Street Porter. She had pluses and minuses. Plus, she commissioned Red Dwarf. Minus, she cancelled the Earl Grey whistle test.
Yeah.
She was the one that killed it off. I can't forgive her for that.
No, I don't think no one will ever.
Well,
for me,
the BBC sort of gave up on live music.
Yeah.
For quite a while. And the fact that all they've got now is, the kind of consistently dreadful Jules Holland.
Mm.
The guy has his mates on basically, and you get a little bit of music, from somebody new, but they get like one song, and it's not really. It doesn't really do it. Whistle Test was cutting edge, wasn't it?
It was. And I mean, you had the wonderful Whispering Bob. He didn't say much. He wasn't loud and brash. He just told you what you needed to know. This is a new band. I hope you'll enjoy their music. And you turn around and there they are, and they're playing 2 or 3 tracks. Whereas nowadays, one track and then it's back to me. It's all about me.
Yeah. I mean, the 80s, though, it was mainly, for the 80s, mainly what? It was Kershaw, wasn't it? Andy Kershaw.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they turned to sort of, post-punk and indie.
Mm. Yes,
And,
whenever Whispering Bob was
Bob was out of his depth then, wasn't he? Yeah.
For me, the 80s was a decade of synth pop music when it became more acceptable to the sort of younger, sort of dancing, good time, sort of down the pub people, and the video. It was a decade of when music videos became really, really popular. But we've had this. If it wasn't for the Beatles, blah 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 blah. I've always said that our Friends Electric is probably one of the most important records in British music history. Simply because it was the key that opened the door to allow bands like Ultravox, etc., to become more accepted by the music-loving public. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Quite a few bands sort of like, they changed their direction, didn't they? Into the sort of more synth pop stuff. Because our Ultravox were an out-and-out punk band.
Yeah, their first three albums are just punk albums, aren't they?
You know, and I mean, Human League as well.
Electronic synth music had been around for years, but
Yeah.
for me, it was always perhaps considered, you know, the music of university types.
Mhm.
You know, perhaps a bit nerdy, perhaps
Yeah.
a bit too futuristic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
And-
agree with you there, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
oh, thank you very much. The check's in the post. Feel free to carry on and.
No, you're right. It was a genre that sort of it developed in universities and the labs, and you had the likes of Vangelis, Mike Oldfield,
Yeah.
and all Jean-Michel Jarre.
And of course, these synthesizers, you needed money, a lot of money to buy them.
Yeah.
There were the electronic plans and all that available via magazines and books to build your own, but again, you needed the money and a doctorate in electronics.
Yeah.
But that moment when Newman walked into the studio to finish up a couple of songs for his band's album, and he discovered that Mini Moog,
Yeah.
and was totally blown away by the noise and the sounds it made.
Mm-hmm.
And then him releasing Our Friends Electric,
Yeah.
and you've also got to, as much as I hate to do so, you've got to thank the BBC for their part in it, because I don't know if you remember, on Top of the Pops, and I can only vaguely remember it. There used to be a little segment where the presenters and the producers and all that, or whatever, would pick a song that was sort of going nowhere, is at the bottom end of the charts, which they thought was good and deserved better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
they had two choices. One was a song by Simple Minds, one of their early tunes. I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And the other one was Our Friends Electric, and they chose Our Friends Electric. And when they played it on that segment, and that it flew up the charts, and that it for me is the song, like I say, that opened the floodgates, allowing all those other synth pop type bands who had been around for a while, but just weren't generally accepted by the vast sort of music public.
Yeah, I mean, Gary in 1980. Again, you know, when Telecom come out, you know, when I first heard "We Are Glass," that opening was just wow. Where's he get that sound from? And how he got his vocals to linger with the high pitched synths on that is brilliant. I mean, the whole album is, you know, This Wreckage is on there, I Die, You Die, three great songs that took, even Gary kept taking it to the next level.
But a lot of the synth pop bands that were a bit resentful of him at first, you know, who are you? Who's this bloke? You know, we've been around for a while, and we've not had any sort of luck at all. Yet he comes in, and you know, bish bash bosh, he's flying up the charts. He's number one, and the general sort of music loving dance public sort of, you know, accepted it all. And then you got like the Human League with ending up releasing Dare, and you got Ultravox with, you know, with what's his name, Fox, and then Midge-Ure.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a whole lot more acceptable. And then you had the videos creeping in, which were great videos, and MTV taking them on, and then electronic music sort of evolved, and then it ended up with like acid house, didn't it, towards the late 80s?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I
Are
say, if
you-
it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have had all that.
But
And
Are you
certainly
thinking
not,
of?
certainly not the fucking Beatles.
no, the Human League were going in a different direction, weren't they? You know, they were.
Yeah.
It was more sort of arty and experimental.
Nick,
And
are you
then,
thinking of Life in a Day?
You know, Phil got the sort of two girls in, as you say. You know, Dare was an absolutely massive album, wasn't it?
Oh, that's a cracking album.
And you know, and he went in a different direction. I mean, other bands, Heaven 17.
Yes. 2 ex-members of they left. Was it Martin Gore? Martin
Fry.
Ian Craig. Was it Ian Craig Marsh that left to join?
I can't remember. Remember.
Martin Ware. That's it. Martin Ware and Ian Craig Marsh.
Martin Fry was ABC, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they left and
Yeah.
they created Heaven 17.
Yeah. And there was that whole, you know, the British Electronic Foundation, wasn't it?
Yeah. You see Howard Jones.
Kraftwerk and Autobahn.
Yeah.
But Kraftwerk had been knocking around for ages.
Yeah.
Haven't they? But like I say, a lot of that electronic music hadn't really become acceptable to the vast general music loving, you know, public.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Gary Newman was responsible for, you know, all that was created. It was his song that opened the door to it all.
Well, yeah, it brings it to prominence, and you know, I think with a lot of sort of record companies, you know, that the A&R men at the big record companies, you know, sort of like, you know, they're a lazy bunch, aren't they? They just want, you know, they want to find the next big thing and they want it to fall in their lap. oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, but you know, so. You know, once they see Gary Newman, you know, all of a sudden this guy that they probably never heard of, you know, becomes really popular, and there's that sort of music. They're off looking for other bands, aren't they? That are similar.
Yeah.
You know, they want to get on the bandwagon, so that gives a leg up to all sorts of other bands.
At the same time, I think there was also a visual element to Gary Newman's success that
Well,
deadpan,
you know, I mean,
robotic look.
Yeah, I mean, Nick mentioned the MTV thing, and yeah.
That sort of grabbed the new minds that were out there. Oh, this is new. This is interesting. Because at the same time, you had Bowie coming around and doing something new. He jumped on the bandwagon. I mean,
well, you look at the success of Ashes to Ashes.
Yeah.
Great video with it, which I expect was heavily played eventually on MTV. I mean, if it wasn't really for things like MTV and the odd sort of late night music programs we had on here in Britain, the only other place you'd have seen the odd video or two was bloody Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
And they would only play what they wanted you to watch.
Yeah.
MTV and these other programs, they played a bit of everything, didn't they?
Well, you know, I mean, you know, they were dedicated to playing music videos, weren't they? You know, so they had, you know, a lot more time. And I suppose, you know, if you're going out in the middle of the night, you know, you've got more sort of more leeway, haven't you, just to put out what you think rather than you know, what's going to get the right.
But at the same time, MTV also started doing segments. This is pop music. This is the latest pop music. At the time that, you know, people were starting to go out to the pubs. Here's the latest thing. you'll hear it later whenever you get to the clubs. While they're out, they're showing the mainstream stuff, and then later, whenever you're coming home, this is the new stuff.
Yeah.
And later in the night, this is the rock stuff.
Yeah, they played the rock stuff. I mean, the worst thing they ever did in pubs was take out the jukebox and put in a video jukebox.
I can remember the very first song I ever saw and heard on a video jukebox. It was on the pub called the Peacock in Kettering Town Centre.
Yeah.
And the very first song I ever heard on the video jukebox was "Pump Up the Jam" by Technotronic.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, they wanted to put one in the King Billy, right?
Oh no!
And the landlord said, "If I have one of them, I'll have a riot on my hands."
Too damn right.
He says, "No," he says, "this lot want music. They don't want videos."
Yeah, I mean, we wanted the old,
It's
big
really
old
limited.
Wurlitzer that you saw the discs going round and stopping, and the arm going in and picking out your disc, turning it, putting it on the platter, down came the needle, and away you went. There was a bit of theatre to it.
Yeah. When they had the CD jukeboxes came in, that really, we didn't need a rock disco. They went away.
No, you could program in a whole bloody playlist with that.
Yeah, you
put in £3 and you've got 10 songs in your order of choosing. Dum, 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 and away you went.
That's
and that
it.
was
It
good
was a lot of
for,
deep cuts.
30 minutes.
A lot of deep cut tracks were played in the pub. It was amazing. Once they installed the CD jukebox, when you had the singles, you had to have the popular stuff, but the CD jukebox changed and you could tell what people wanted to listen to. There were none of the hits. You would never hear, take a band like Queen, you would never hear Bohemian Rhapsody. You'd hear White Man, Tie Your Mother Down. Okay, that was a hit, but you'd hear all and things off the first Queen album. And when it comes to Genesis,
greatest hits.
Yeah, there was never a greatest hits in the jukebox.
but that was the problem with video jukeboxes, wasn't it? Because you're really limited. You're limited to the hits, really, aren't you? Because that's that's where the videos get made.
Yeah, we did find one in one pub, a video thing, and it had Venom on it. So we put Venom. It's quite a trendy pub. But me and my mate Dave Harrison, we put this Venom track on. The whole place. Someone says, "Turn this off." Who put this on?
The thing is, though, whenever we used to go on our Friday night pub crawl, we'd go in the Rising Sun in Kettering, and we put our pennies into the jukebox, and I didn't want to fucking leave the pub until I heard my bloody songs.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
The thing is, though, I had to wade through listening to the bloody Smiths, goodness knows how many times, because there was a lot of sort of college student types that went in the Rising Sun at that time, and you'd have to put up with the bloody Smiths and goodness knows what.
Yeah, well, I was a student, and I was going to see Susie and the Banshees and the Stiff Tour and all the rest of it.
See, that could be another band that was popular on that jukebox was Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah,
Juju was on that box, and that was always played. Songs.
Yeah, but you were saying, Nick, that you put your money in the jukebox and you wouldn't leave the pub until you'd heard your tune.
Yeah.
Have you ever got to the point when you've gone and complained to the bloke behind the bar that you put your money in half an hour ago and mine hasn't come up?
Yeah, well, you got to realise, don't you? I suppose that every frigging man and his dogs put their money in, ain't they?
Poor old Richard. His jukebox choice was always number 24 in the queue.
Yeah.
It's like trying to ring up and make an appointment at the doctor's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Most CD jukebox. This is record. Most CD jukeboxes in bars here were loaded with greatest hits discs. Oddballs like me played rarely heard album tracks. I used to do that.
Yeah.
We'd go down and we'd pick albums, not greatest hits.
I think one of our favourite throwers was if we was in a pub, not the King Billy, but a normal pub, we'd put anything that was hard, heavy, and loud. We didn't care. I mean,
something to rattle the rafters.
Yeah, we found one with a compilation album on, and it had Pretty Vacant on. So that went on.
That was no, it wasn't that pub.
Yeah, we'd deliberately find any, even if we didn't like it, we'd put anything that was heavy.
I'm trying to think in the village.
Which one?
Brixworth.
The red, the George.
Yes.
No, that had a proper jukebox in there. It'd have the Who.
No, but the kids would be in early. Sort of in before they went out to their disco or whatever, and playing their games of pool or whatever, and they had their music. And then Ian and I would wander in, sort of, how many's left? 4, right. Put in 5 quid and rack up a whole, a dozen sort of hard, heavy rock. Right.
Yeah.
As soon as the first one came on, the kids were away.
Yeah. I mean, the best jukeboxes were normally in the sort of, pubs that had sort of like regulars, proper local pub.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, and it would be, the people that went in there would have some say in what was on the jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of town centre pubs tended to sort of to have the sort of, the corporate jukebox in, didn't they?
Yes.
And it was the same old rubbish, and you'd sometimes you'd have to look really hard to find something that you'd want to spend your money on.
Yeah.
My mum used to run a pub years ago in a town called Oakham. And I absolutely loved the jukebox in there. It played proper 7-inch singles. And when the rep used to come round to change the records over, he'd leave the singles out, which he swapped. And I'd get them for fuck all. My mum said, "Here's a pile of records."
Yeah.
Well, that was the day we'd go in there, and we'd always put the B-sides on.
Yeah. I mean that used to be a thing, didn't it? In the classified ads at the back of the music press, you get all these adverts for 50x jukebox singles for a tenner or something.
Yeah. I got them for bugger all.
Yeah.
But I think it was also the decade, like I already sort of mentioned, of the music video. You can't help but mention Dire Straits and Money for Nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, I remember being in a nightclub and everything all stopped at a certain time, and then they premiered Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
it was a really big thing, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
something everyone was looking forward to, and it was probably weeks before they said it's coming out, and it's going to get a premiere.
Yeah.
I
think-
can remember watching the premiere of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think every club up and down the country had it, but you weren't allowed to play it until a certain time.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody gathered around this big sort of TV type screen. And I suppose we were transfixed, really.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And-
there are all sorts of videos, aren't there, that you kind of remember. You know, the video's really done the trick. You know, it's sort of got into your head and you can remember. And you know, another one I'm thinking of is Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk
You know,
this way.
this way. You know, it's a great video, wasn't it?
It was. It was well crafted.
Yeah.
Pretty awful song, but yeah. Well, there you go. Rich has been asking, do they have the newfangled internet jukeboxes in the UK?
I've got no idea.
I wouldn't know.
No.
You go in and you can pick, an album from anywhere. You don't need CDs. You don't need the old vinyl. It's all download.
I can't remember the last time that I put any money in the jukebox.
No, I can't, to be honest.
But it used to be a regular sort of Friday and Saturday night thing.
Oh,
you know, you'd always make sure you got change for the jukebox, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. That's right. Record hand, yes. Thriller was shown in the theatres, yes.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It was that big at the time. But Zeb.
I wonder why.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
And then towards like the second half of the 80s, you had a change of direction, didn't you? Had all this sort of acid house stuff coming in.
Yeah, that ruined music. As far as I was concerned.
I don't know. I don't know. It had attitude, you know. I mean, it was sort of like not really sort of like our generation, you know. It was younger people, you know, and you know, I couldn't imagine myself ever having gone to a rave, you know. But it had a bit of attitude. It was proper youth culture, and I think that's what you need in music, you know. It's you know, if you go back to the sort of like the early 70s, you know, things were sort of stagnating, and there wasn't really, you know, what's the music for young people, you know, sort of like young people coming through, you know. And, you know, the big record companies weren't interested, you know, in punk at the time, you know, and that was that. But, yeah, I mean, I think Acid House is, you know, a good thing. You know, proper.
Well, you had the new romantic stuff, didn't you? The beginning of the 80s, didn't you?
Yeah. I think the trouble with the new romantic stuff, it soon became very sort of commercialized, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and the record companies and whatever sort of like, you know, got onto this and things were sort of created. Do you remember the thing about the Top of the Pops audience in the 1980s? That when they turfed out all the punters that they used to get in, you know, it used to be ordinary people, didn't it? You know, in the Top of the Pops audience, and you see them there every week, and the cameras used to sort of ram into them, you know, to get their close-ups. You'd see all these people, and then all of a sudden, it was all these dickheads dressed in, you know, what was the BBC sort of thought was what young people wore nowadays.
Oh yes.
You know.
Yes. The culture clash.
Yeah. You know, and it was just dire. It was just, you know, the whole, you know, youth culture being sort of like,
Record down, you. That's brilliant. You can pay double on an internet jukebox and have your selections jump the queue. One guy did that to play Du Hast. Your record would do the same, and he'd put on Supper's Ready.
See, I don't mind Do Husk. I mean, I think that's good. I don't mind a bit of Rammstein.
Seb blames Phil Collins for the mid-80s.
Yes, we haven't talked about what happened to Genesis in the 80s.
well, yeah, because it wasn't pretty. But
Terry blames him for everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Hello.
bonjour.
Hey, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello, Rob.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, tired.
Yeah, I did remember to put the link up this week when I saw you in.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, I was on the ball this week.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just
No,
got
I
back
mean,
from
there's one
work.
person we haven't mentioned in the 80s who was really big, and that was Sade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sadie.
Sade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your Love Is King. What a great record that was.
Yeah.
But
It's all a bit transient, though, wouldn't it? I mean,
yes.
that kind of music.
Yeah, and then of course we had Wham.
Yeah.
Please, no.
Moving quickly on.
Moving quickly on, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but then out of Wham we got
Yeah,
something else.
No, come on. Let's talk about some decent stuff.
What from the 80s?
How about, you know, sort of like mid to late 80s? There was a lot of international sort of music. You know, the music was being played on sort of late night radio. Music, particularly from Africa, was sort of you know, starting to be heard in Europe and North America. And I'll give you this.
Oh yeah, Morricone, yeah.
Barber Beach, Morricone from Guinea. And, you know, as on the hype sticker there, Yeke Yeke, you know, it was an international hit. It was,
Yeah.
it was really massive in Europe and, you know, also in the UK.
Yeah, what a big album.
And then, you know, you'd get other people, you know, artists like Usu and Dor, and you know, a lot of sort of crossover between sort of you know, international music and you know, and more established sort of European stuff. And
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of stuff came out of France, didn't it, Ramon?
Yeah, because that's the typical post-colonialism effect. We had.
Yeah.
And lots of people recorded in Paris, but they were originally from the Rai music, for instance.
Yeah.
That's typical, and Mali as well, and the former colony countries. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I realized lately the bands I'm really into, the 80s bands, UK and US, they had something like, because you know, during the 60s 70s there were this partnership, UK US, you know, we are the big source of inspiration, Elvis, the Beatles, and punk, blah blah blah. And I realized that lots of bands I'm really into, like for instance the band led by this guy David Byrne. So Talking Heads, they had this source of inspiration, you know. Lately there is this video, Amoeba, What's in My Bag, and he talks about that. It talks about the way Fela Kuti was a massive source of inspiration, the Afro-funk in Talking Heads. And the same with the UK band. You guys had an incredible sense of pop. So all this experimental krautrock stuff, Kraftwerk, were not that accessible to larger audience, but bands like Depeche Mode, they took it and made it something really interesting pop in the 80s. This is my take.
Yeah. I mean, Peter Gabriel did a lot of that.
Yes,
Yeah, especially on
he
that.
really got into the world music.
Yeah, especially on
Just
his
gonna-
third album.
Hmm.
PG3, with B-Code on it. You got that. And then, of course, Paul Simon with Graceland again. The world. But Peter Gabriel is what I'd say the main man that really brought the world music to the light. He really emphasised it, didn't he? In Womack, he was really promoted that, and he always got people in on his albums since about mid-80s onto his albums to give him that exposure. But you're right, Romo, about Fela Kuti. He was, I think, in the mid-80s, all of a sudden he became bigger over here than some of his. I mean, his 70s stuff's great. I love his 70s stuff, but it was the 80s that he really got focused over here. He was exploding, in record shops here. He'd have they'd have all the mainstream, and then stuck in the corner, you'd always have a Fela Kuti album up.
I'd never heard of him till about a year or two ago, when his name kept cropping up on VC videos.
Yeah, he's quite popular on the VC nowadays, isn't he?
Yeah.
Terry mentioned these guys, Four Brothers.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is probably their most famous album, but I think they're all dead now. That they succumbed to AIDS, as so many people did in Africa, back in the 80s.
Was it Zamrock? Was it a big thing in the UK, or I'm just asking the question.
Not particularly. No. I don't think it was. But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic genre, isn't it? And but there was quite a lot of sort of Southern African stuff, and Iain mentioned Gracelands, which of course is quite controversial because of the whole cultural boycott thing at the time, but it was an album that sort of introduced that sort of music. And there's this band from Zimbabwe, The Real Sounds.
Okay.
Then there's Zako, which again, good album from the 80s, and it's got a track on here which is about sort of 8 or 9 minutes long, and it's called Tornadoes versus Dynamos 3-3, and it's basically a football commentary, but to music, and it's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so when I was getting disillusioned with sort of the New Romantics and the other posers that were on MTV and whatever, I was listening to a lot of international music, particularly African music at the time. Yeah.
My only real experience of international music at the time was Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
I'd never see anything else like African music or
Yeah.
stuff like that on British TV.
It's university types, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Trio
commercial on evenings on Radio 1, and they used to play an awful lot of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Mark Radcliffe did as well, didn't he?
Yes, quite a few of them did. Kid Jensen also did that, and John Peel as well.
And then for us rockers, we had Tommy Vance. Tommy Vance, show.
I see. I would never listen to Mark Radcliffe. I boycotted him because he was anti-fishing.
How about Tangerine Dream? I have the feeling this band had a certain recognition because of Virgin Label. I mean, in the UK, I found a couple of their albums in England back in the day. So Tangerine Dream was probably not.
It's been big over here. You know, they've always had a good following.
Yeah. I was very much into Tangerine Dream in the early 70s.
Mhm.
You know, because they fitted so nicely with the whole sort of like prog thing in the UK anyway.
But you'd only really hear bands like them on Whistle Test, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You certainly wouldn't hear anything by them in the mainstream sort of pop music programs.
Because, bands like Can, of course. Can were a massive band in Europe, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got one of my favourite albums of the 80s here.
Oh yeah, I'll see what it is. Yeah.
Tracy Chapman,
Yeah.
Brilliant album.
It is, isn't it?
There's so many great tracks on this, talking about Revolution, what a lyric that is. That's sticking it to the man, her background, what she was thinking. Fast Car is beautiful. She's got a ticket. I love that track. That is a big, big album. And when this came out, it was massive over here.
Yeah, I think just about everybody bought it, didn't they? It was
everyone brought it. And the other album that I love from the yes, the Christians. Yes.
Sorry, I was busy typing.
Brilliant album.
Yeah. That's an album you can pick up for next to nothing at Record Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this was a bit of VCLT from a certain person. If I remember rightly.
That's really? Oh, right. Yeah.
We were talking about it, and the next time I saw him, he'd got this. So.
That's right. Yeah.
I have to agree with Record Hound on that. I would never have come across Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the phenomenal set. They came and they toured the UK, and they were on several TV shows, and the harmonies that they came out with were unbelievable.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned this band either, the Waterboys.
Yeah.
And then to answer your question, Mike, there you go. There's your answer.
Right. Okay. Yes, I thought. Yes. I thought they were nearly all dead. Yeah. Yeah.
Amidst all this headbanging stuff I was listening, I heard on MTV a little track called "Close to the Edge" by Art of Noise. So I went investigated them more, and yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I really know about Aha was that the video for Take On Me was really sort of inventive, wasn't it?
Yes. People were writing songs with a video in mind, weren't they, back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Well, a damn good video always helps, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Because you remember them and get played.
Yeah,
I don't know what decade it was in, but Top of the Pops stopped showing them, didn't they? And just switched to live.
Yeah.
Band, which I think was a huge mistake. I think it was part of their downfall. But I remember Christmas time, it'd be Christmas Day, wouldn't it? And then I think New Year's Day, when Top of the Pops showed the #1 videos of that year, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was always something worth looking
yeah,
forward to.
yeah. But I mean, the Top of the Pops sort of live thing was weird because the bands had to be there, but then they weren't allowed to play live, were they?
That's the BBC for you. That
Yeah,
Mike
except
Reed and co knows
Oh
best.
God,
And
who was it? The band Martha's Harbour. What's the band? Come on, I can't remember.
Martha's All About Eve.
All About Eve. Yeah, there's that famous video where she couldn't hear the music,
No.
Yes.
and everything was playing, and she was singing, but she was sat there, kind of like, what's going on? And this was kind of broadcast live, you know.
Yeah, that was a.
I mean, it was,
race.
you know, I mean, Top of the Pops was a travesty, really. I mean, I
Yeah.
loved it when I was a kid, you know, but later on, it was just.
Yeah, there was a lot of tomfoolery going around and bands taking the mickey. I think the best one, and that's not until the 90s, but Oasis. They, I think you got Noel singing Liam's song, and Liam was on the bass or something. And the other one was Iron Maiden, when they went on to do Running Free, they refused to play it, mime to it.
Yeah, Fairport Convention did that.
Yeah.
They were on, and they held up a sign that said miming.
Yes. a lot of bands rebelled against it because it was coercive control.
Yeah.
Was it the Rod Stewart that did a song and they all started kicking footballs around?
Maybe. But you know, it was. You know, I mean, Top of the Pops was never really cutting edge, was it? As you know, it wasn't really one for the music fans.
No, but that's I mean, at least you know, a lot. We've said this before about the old grey whistle test. The bands that went on there, they would never play the hit singles, would they? They would play
seldom, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you get Bob. This is a track on their new album.
Yes. Yeah, and it wasn't going to be the single that was coming out next week. It was something else.
Yeah.
it's the only way, really, you could see your favourite bands or artists performing live without actually going out to the concerts and seeing them live, which was a good thing for younger folk like me. I enjoyed seeing bands like the Specials and that, and you know, sort of performing live, because there's no way I could afford to go out to a gig and watch them. If I was too young.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been allowed.
Rock Goes to College was brilliant for that sort of thing. You know, in the 80s, you know, they were, you know, that was a great show. I saw some great bands on there.
But yeah, I mean, you're right, Nick. I mean, Top of the Pops is good for kids, you know, because if you can't get to the gigs, you get to see the bands, and of course, you know, I mean, Madness were always good value, weren't they? Whenever they were.
It was Top of the Pops in the early days, well, we're talking about the 80s. I'll stick with the 80s. It was the only way, really, I could see the videos, as it were. Yeah, obviously you can't see videos by turning on the radio. And like I already mentioned, seeing a video, more often than not, I think, made you go out and buy the singles, the records.
Well, yeah. That's it. But we've not mentioned the Tube.
No, the Tube was a damn good program, I thought.
Yeah, you'd watch the Tube, and then in the pub, you'd discuss what was on the Tube.
Well, it was designed, wasn't it, for people who were going to go out that night. So it was, you know, every Friday evening, and it was about, 6 o'clock, was it?
Yeah,
And it'd be on for about an hour and a half, and they'd have live bands and all sorts of great stuff. And then you go out and
that's it. I used to put the tube on in my bedroom and start, get ready for going out. So while they were, I'd watch the interview, the people when they were interviewing. But when bands were playing, I would turn it up a bit louder and then just get ready to go out, So, and then you go down the pub. Oh, did you see so and so on the tube?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But that's what it was designed for. I mean, it was that time, wasn't it? And then you get the sort of the later night programs that were there to catch the people coming back from the pub.
Yeah.
Was it the Tube? I think the Cramps did a 15, 20-minute set, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, I remember watching that. I'd never seen anything like it in my life.
Oh well, he was an absolute showman, wasn't he, Lux?
Yeah. So this is what the UK was like. I mean, was there something similar in France, Rommel?
Yeah, absolutely. And I grew up very close to Germany, and they were like family or a program tailored for family. And yeah, sure. I mean, Saturday evening, they were like program where you could see actually the band playing live with some humorists, with some it was like in Italy it was the same. So yeah, it was like really big in the 70s up until the late 90s. Now it's different because now we have Netflix and all that stuff. But yeah, back in the days we call this variety programs. And they were like, all the artists, they were topping the bill at the time. You could see them playing live, having some interviews, and it was all casual, friendly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Yeah. That's sort of quite interesting. But
a really good German one. I mean, it was like their version of Top of the Pops.
Beat Club.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen videos. Yeah.
And sometimes the performances on there, and I thought, God, this is much better than what we were doing.
Yeah, their sound engineering was like top notch.
Yeah, it's like when you get a live album coming out recorded in Germany, you go, well, this will be good.
Yeah.
any band that records in Germany a live album, they're smart because you get the best sound. Even the recordings at Wacken, they don't sound like our open air gigs. The sound quality is fantastic. But no, that was a great. I mean, some of the bands they had on there that were never showboated on Top of the Pops, but they were always on the German. And when you watch on YouTube, you go, I don't remember them being on Top of the Pops. And they didn't just do like the mainstream. They were doing all the, like the Cure played on there a lot. The Cult played on there. Susie was on there. It was all these bands that were not what they call BBC friendly. There's a great clip of Dr. Feelgood on there. I know it's from the 70s.
Yeah.
Rocky's awake, yeah.
He knows what the time is.
Yes, he knows what the time is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky agreements, yes. Yeah, this is another thing. Yeah. All live. None of this miming nonsense. Anyway, I think it's time to do a thumbnail.
Okay.
Oh, what do I show? I'm going to show about one that I haven't talked about. What I was going to show anyway.
Oh,
one of my favourite bands from the 80s. We're bigger than Iron Maiden.
I ain't got nothing.
That's all right.
Yeah, in that case, 3.
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Rocky makes a good point. He always does. Record
Yes.
house.
Yes.
Oh, Freddie.
Yeah. Ah, there we
Oh.
go. Right. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know what's happened to Michael tonight. I'll have to check in with him tomorrow.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, he's normally around.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a typhoon around, so he might have been taking shelter.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. So,
Anyway, Romuald, I'll get in touch with you tomorrow probably. I had a very successful record fair for both of us.
Really cool.
Yes, so I'll be in touch if I remember tomorrow, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we can talk over WhatsApp, or we can see.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Cool.
yeah. Well, thanks for coming up tonight, Romo. I mean, it's always nice to have another perspective of the 80s from you was listening to.
Is that relevant? I don't know. I was born in fucking France in '86, so
what was the record? What was the
You
record you showed for the thumbnail? What was?
yeah, that's another David Byrne. That's
really. But yes, I thought I recognised it, and I thought, well, yes.
I have to be honest.
It's a Brian Eno thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
I overlaid
Yes, excellent. Yeah.
You could have a foretaste on the Remaining Light, because Brian Eno produced the album by Talking Heads. So this is pretty much this ambient stuff he was like into.
Yeah.
This is like the Afro funk without the rhythm, And what I really like when I listen to some stuff by Brian Eno is like music is like an art or painting. You don't always have to watch, to stare at this. Sometimes the music can be there, you don't even realize it's there, and all of a sudden it's there again. That's pretty much the kind of concept. So this is like a great collaboration, and it's pretty cool when you talk about that Talking Heads were like drawing inspiration from the Afro-funk and from the ambient stuff from at the same time, and doing something really interesting. So this is an album that epitomized this kind of. So.
All right. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Is it the uncensored version with the song Quran?
Quran, no, there is no song called Quran there. Oh yes. Yes. Sorry, just mistaken. Yeah. That's Canadian Press. I got.
There you go, Zed. There you go. Yeah. It'll be the uncensored version then.
Yeah. That's a Canadian Press, and you can find those stuff for pretty much $20 something. So
very good.
Affordable. Yeah.
Excellent.
Very good. Yeah.
Nice one. Well done.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to have you up here. We really enjoy your company. So
I do my best when I have the time. When I got back from work, like today.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Oh, by the way, I've been watching some of Joseph's videos.
We have to explain to the audience a little bit.
Yes.
I do the connection. This is all what a community is all about, between you, Mike, and a fellow member for the French vinyl community, who talks a lot about French folk stuff. And since you, Mike, you lately about some interesting records, not the Alan Stivell, the headline. You were a little bit deeper. I just thought might be relevant for you to watch these videos, because this guy made, I think, 4 videos overall.
Yeah. I've watched a couple. I've watched a couple of them, and I've got a list now. I've got a list of records I need to listen to.
So,
but yeah,
cool.
Anyway, thanks for thanks for making the introduction for me, because it's
my pleasure. I have this 3 languages channels. I speak French, German, English, and sometimes I thought this would be interesting to have this mix and match, how we say, but language is often a problem. Lots of French people, they don't speak enough English, so. And it's a pity, because I could imagine, I could picture hosting a live stream with several people from Germany, UK, France, because I know they will like something really interesting could happen. Find a common ground, like really I'm pretty sure, but because of the language, it's not always possible. But
I know. I find it very difficult. I tried. I watched Joseph's videos with French captions on, and I can just about understand what is being said, but without the captions, I need the words there in order to.
I'm like you, Mike. I can read a little bit of French. The more that so you can pick out the gist of the conversation.
Come on, be honest. Be honest. You're French. It all relates to the menu, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. I can go anywhere in France and order off a menu and speak French.
yeah,
What's that? As long as it's coq au vin.
No, I was pretty good at it. I mean, I was in one place. I did it so well that the restaurateur come out and give me a bottle of wine.
see,
Yeah, he said he spoke to me. He says, "I understood. My waitress understood everything you said. We knew you were British, but he says we appreciate that you've come into my restaurant and you've tried to do speak French." And he says, "And I admire you for that. So have a best." He said, "This is not house wine. This is one of my most popular wines."
yeah.
We had the same thing in Belgium.
Yeah.
The last time we were over.
Oh yeah, we was ordering food in French in Belgium. So yeah.
I spend my life working, abroad. I'm in Canada, and we have to see us as an ambassador, So if we are nice people, if we do the forward, when I'm in Italy, I try to speak a little bit Italian. People they notice that and they like it, and often comes a reward, like a gift or a free coffee at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like it. If I've been up in and if I'm in Germany, I go parlez-vous français, and you get oui. So even when I've been in Germany, I've been able to communicate, even not in German, but in French. So
yeah. I mean, the worst thing is when, I made an effort. I've been on holiday, and I thought, well, I'll speak in Spanish or Italian in this shop, and I go in there, and it's a success. They can understand me, but then I get a reply, Italian or Spanish, and I can't understand what I'm being told.
Yeah,
but that's just me. That's just me. I'm just, typical sort of, English monolinguist.
Yes, and how do you get your point across? You shout louder.
Doesn't work. In certain part of France, I can tell doesn't work.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say I think it's time to say good night. Next week it'll be an open night, so we're going to put the world to right.
Oh yeah, I won't be here. I won't be here next week.
Oh,
no, an important home match.
Oh yeah,
we're playing Hull KR Thursday night.
Yes,
so I'll be there. Although, if send me the link as usual, and if I get home in time, I'll I'll come up sort of after show and have a chat with you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
the gauntlet's been.
It's throwing the gauntlet down.
Yeah. It's 1-1 at the moment. We lost at home and then we won away.
Right.
Yes, we'll see, Andy. We'll see, but I'm not making any predictions because Leeds are so inconsistent. There you go.
Anyway, we'll see you all next week. So, tatty bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.